4. I count really well. Set number 4. This is going to be our first diamond matchup, actually. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So, this is going to be in the top right of Yansu, playing for AlloyE eSports. In teal, playing as Zerg, it's Sugarbiscuit. Thank you, Sugarbiscuit, for actually using the correct color. And his opponent spawning in the bottom right. Left. God, directions are difficult. In green, playing for Guns and Roaches, it's Zackor. And I know the answer to that question, Zackor. This is not Sugarbiscuit's first CTL. Sugarbiscuit was actually on my team last season. He was on IXT with me last season. He joined us pretty late and played a few matches for us. He's a nice guy. He's cool. So it's nice to see him continuing on and playing. So going for the geyser extractor trick to over drone. So good for him there. It looks like Zackor actually going to be going for some sort of either Forge expand or just Nexus first. And I do not blame him. I cannot for the life of me gateway expands. I don't know what it is about gateway expansions. I just can't do it. I can be playing somebody who's in bronze and I'm a platinum level player, probably as Protoss, and I can't gateway expand. It is I don't know. I screw it up every time. Actually, it's gonna be a Forge. So we could see some cute little cannon rushing going on here. There is the pool is first for Sugarbiscuit, so he's gonna be able to at least know what's going on, and he's gonna chase around this probe at the very least. So this shouldn't be able to do too much. At most, it's gonna get Sugarbiscuit to pull some drones. Actually, at best, it'll work, but at worst, it's gonna make him pull some drones. So expect to see a pylon go down, maybe in vision, maybe not in vision, just to try to scare his opponent, or he's just gonna go home. I guess he's just gonna go home and expand. Never mind. Okay, fine. Be that way. Sugarbiscuit getting his gas up, and it is indeed going to be a Nexus. So Forge Nexus expand. Actually, whoa, changing his mind. Okay, well, he was changing his mind. What is this probe doing? I want to see if this probe's actually going to stay here the entire game and proxy something, or if he's just going to actually just be here to come back and scout for a third base, potential third base, which actually, no, okay. This drone is just making sure that probe did go home. He does see that this Forge is here, but seeing the amount of infrastructure that is up, he should know he's not getting cannon rushed. There's a cannon, a gateway, and this Nexus is here, and another pylon as well, so there is no really possibility of a cannon rush. Link's trying to scout around looking for pretty normal locations for a probe to hide, but he's picked a good spot. This probe's not going to be found for a little while at least. And if he throws in a pylon and then goes scouting for this third base, he'll be in a good spot. Speed already on the way for Biscuit. Still in gas, so he can still be pretty aggressive with this. There is going to be a nice wall here, or well, not really nice, using a third pylon to make this wall happen. Walling is a beast within itself, so I can't really blame him. But so this is kind of a weak wall with the amount of pylons he's used to make it happen. These two pylons here, and then whenever the Zealot is here. Those are pretty good entry points for like a Bailey Bust or something ridiculous from Sugarbiscuit. To my knowledge, he doesn't really like to play like that, so I wouldn't expect to see that. And in fact, he's going for this third hatchery. Lings, do you see it? Lings do find this probe finally, so poor probe. He might be able to get away. Nope. Going into basically the worst possible position, so he's not going to know about the third base for a little while. Yeah, okay, well. So, PvZ, this is going to be a macro game. There's no Stargate, and Stargate probably would have been down already if he were going to be going for that kind of play. So I doubt we'll be seeing that. And really nothing out just yet. There isn't really a chance for a proxy pylon. Really fairly early robo facility, though, so maybe we'll see a cool Immortal Sentry push all in. Those are always fun to do. It's my favorite build from Wings Liberty. Link's trying to poke in. They're just seeing the front, making sure no shenanigans are going on at the very front. Not going to be able to see this robo facility, I don't think, unless he pokes in over here. Perhaps if he decided to go in just kind of wasting some APM here. +1 weapons on the way for Zackor. And yeah, this really actually, it could be an Immortal Sentry all-in. He's gonna use focus on croning out a lot of probes right now, and you don't really need a proxy pylon for that kind of all-in, so we'll have to see. Roach Warren already on the way for Biscuit, and he is up to 2 queens, adding on his 3rd queen finally. A modicum of creep spread is out. 1 Evo chamber is incoming as well, so he's going to start feeling pretty safe. 3 more gateways being added on. A good number of Lings actually are here. At the very that could have been a little bit disastrous. Still don't really know what's going on. Overlord trying to pop in and see what he can see, but he's really going to see. Actually, well, there's only these 2 sentries, so this Overlord's going to stay alive for a pretty long time actually. There's only 3 gateways and only +1 at the moment. He is crowding out Immortals, and he definitely wants to hide that Immortal count, and even so much as forcing this Immortal to go to the other direction. But Overlord is going to start turning around, and if he did crowd it out, yeah, he's looks like there's going to be an Immortal Sentry all in, which will be really nice, fun to see. Only up to 4 gateways right now. He's going to need to add on. Yes, he is adding on his 3 extra gateways right now, but this is going to hit pretty late, honestly. So this might be difficult to pull off for that Protest player, but Mothership Core actually doing a good bit of work, getting a kill, and at the very least forcing those Lings away. And I don't know, Sugarbiscuit, he still hasn't seen that this robot facility is here, and there are 2 Immortals out already. 3rd one should be on the way here shortly once he has the minerals to get. Yes, 3rd one on the way, and just sentries beyond that. There is no proxy pylon right now, so that's a bit of a problem. It's a little bit more difficult to pull this off. It looks like he actually has a probe waiting to go with this, and he is on a really low probe count for this actually, so but I don't know. Sugarbiscuit does see the move out, and he does have some Roaches and Hydras already on the way. He may want to actually just meet this in the middle of the map before reinforcements can actually start popping in. He's already actually spreading out his units really nicely here, and he's actually going to catch this probe. Once the probe pops in, the probe's going to be trying to make these pylons here. War Prism is on the way, +1 armor is about 25% done, but that's not going to get finished, and that pylon immediately goes down, so he loses those minerals. And right now there's only 3 Immortals, and not really many sentries, and just a lot more Zealots right now. A couple more sentries and some Zealots, which, I mean, the Zealots act as like a secondary force field and a really unnecessary Guardian Shield there, but he's going to poke in, and he really doesn't have the units for it. It's a really nice concave set up by Sugarbiscuit, and he's got a lot of units, and all he's doing is adding on units right now. He does have 2 bases saturated, not even bothering with any sort of spy collars now. He has +1 attack finished, and good force fields, but Lings poke in from the back, and all this energy is gone now, and there's no energy. He used a Time Warp, so he's kind of all in with this. He doesn't really have a choice. All the Immortals are very weak. All the shields are gone. Actually, all Immortals have been killed, so now it's just these Zealots, and a bunch of Zealots without charge against this army. They're gonna die, and we're even on workers right now, but Sugar has a 3rd base, and he realizes he can start droning up again. Colossus is going to be the check path of choice here for Zackor. So that was a rather poor all-in. I'm not sure if he was legitimately trying to all-in, or if he just wanted to pressure the 3rd base, but either way, it didn't work. And now he's kind of be in a problem. Sugarbiscuit kind of overextending here, losing a good amount of units. More or less free. There's only really 1 Immortal. That's all he has for defense. There are these sentries, but Sugar's going to sit here and break down these rocks. And meanwhile, he's still just droning out. He's adding on a good amount more army units, but he's okay to drone up. He's been pretty lax on his injects, but another kind of unnecessary engagement here for Sugarbiscuit, and without any creep, without any Hydra speed. Does he have Hydra speed? Okay, he does have Hydra speed, I think. No, he doesn't have Hydra speed. That's not Hydra speed. But these Hydras are actually may beat this Oh, you maybe could have beat that one-on-one. Oh, there's a warp in. Nice warp in. Nice attempted warp in, but that's not going to do much. The army was pretty much back home. Carapace on the way as well. Another Evo chamber here. And Sugarbiscuit is just going to start taking this into a later game. And it's going to be really difficult for Zackor to be able to take a third base here. He's kind of stuck on these 3 bases for a little while. Yeah, attempting to add in these Colossus, which is going to do a lot of work against all these Hydras, but now there's a lot of Roaches. There's not really many Hydras, and there's a lot of Roaches, and there's not much army. Where is his army? His army is basically in these 3 Immortals. He's got a good amount of sentries, but yeah, Sugarbiscuit can just pick away at things as much as he likes. Another nice warp in, really being annoying back here. And there's really nothing back home to deal with this. Attempting to make some spike collars, but they're all getting killed. And Zackor's, he's doing what he can. He's forcing the army back home, and he's starting to kill off some drones. Some drones were lost because of those spike collars, obviously. He may actually get this queen. Actually, I'm not sure what these. Okay, they were attacking. I just couldn't see the health bar there. But the army is back now, so that's gonna be staved off for a while. And Warcraft is just gonna run away. And yeah, so a nice harass there. He has eight working kills thus far. A couple hallucinated Phoenix, just gonna be scouting out, making sure there's not some crazy text which he's not seeing here. But it's gonna be Enduring Locust. We're gonna be seeing some Swarm Host. So this game could last a whole lot longer. Not sure. We'll have to see. Yeah. 4th base on the way for Sugarbiscuit. Still no 3rd base for our Protoss player. Ling's just scouting around, making sure there's no base anywhere. And yeah, Sugarbiscuit is just putting himself in a really good situation right now. +2/+2 is on the way for his range attacks and Carapace, so he's just setting up here for this late game. But again, another massive warp in. Actually, these Swarm Hosts need to burrow. Okay, Swarm Hosts do burrow, and they're going to start pushing this away, but he's going to start. He needs some static defense to really push this away. He's floating a ton of minerals, so he should be able to do that. He just needs to make the drones to do that. But actually, he's going to snipe off this War Prism. War Prism stuck on for way too long. And already the first Swarm Host on the map. There's 6 Swarm Hosts on the map, and this earlier creep spread is going to be coming into play. And imagine he may use one of his queens. There's not a queen over here anymore. I think that queen that was at the 3rd ended up in the natural, and then the natural queen ended up. No, there's another queen right here. I don't know. 3rd base finally on the way for Zackor. But he's got the robotics facility. He's got 2 Colossus out. He's setting up pretty nicely against this. Blink is on the way. +2 attack is on the way. His upgrade is going to be a little bit behind, but Chrono Boost should help that out. And Army's actually moving out directly into the Swarm Host. So he's going to start losing some here, but now there's not many Swarm Hosts and a lot of units. It's a lot of army. It's kind of a really scary army composition right now. Not really anything to push this away, and Sugarbiscuit is kind of throwing away his entire army. And there's an Observer here, and no way to really snipe this Observer. He needs to start running away, burrow, spit out the Locust, move away again. Hopefully that is exactly what he does. Yes, he is going to be doing exactly that. Spire on the way somewhere. There's a Spire on the way. So it's a lot of Swarm Hosts and nothing else right now for Sugarbiscuit. So despite this kind of poor opening from Zackor, his army composition right now is just going to start beating down Sugarbiscuit. Sugar's going to really need to use his Swarm Host effectively in order to be able to take this out. Zackor kind of in a rough spot. He needs to start attacking. Yeah, he can just kite these for days. There is no creep, so he's pretty safe from that. If Sugarbiscuit can somehow trap this army, he's going to do really well with that, but Colossus do kind of shoot from pretty far away, so he's okay for right now. So continue to do this harassment here. The Spire is just about to finish. This base is up for Sugarbiscuit, but he's not really able to do anything with it. Roaches getting caught out again. But Locust kind of popping in here. Nice force fields from Zackor. Gonna cut that off. And he looks really comfortable against the Swarm Host play. There's a lot more Swarm Hosts. There's going to be, how many do we have already? We already have 13 Swarm Hosts. There's 5 more in production, but what's keeping Zackor from just killing him? Not really much. There's not much to really support these Swarm Hosts here, and they're really in a kind of a bad position. He is still continually picking away at the health, and these are basically free units, but he's throwing away all of his Roaches. Since Spinecrawler's at the 3rd base, going to do some work. Did anybody get this kill? 1 kill? No, just 1 kill. Swarm Host Locust are going to start picking away at everything, but Zackor was able to clean up some of this creep as well. And he's still just on this really low economy. 49 harvesters right now, and his main is completely mined out, so all these workers are basically over here. He did just transfer, but he needs another base really, really soon. These lings that have been sitting here for a while started picking away at a Colossus. Pretty cute there. Our first corruptors are going to be on the field here in a moment. There are 3 already, 4 more just about to pop. And that's a lot of swarm hosts. 18 swarm hosts, but it is 4 Colossus. It's only 4 Colossus, so this will start going pretty well for Sugarbiscuit, I think. He's just set up a lot better. And eventually it's going to be free units against not free units, and maybe even going to lose one. No, he's going to be able to pull that away. Almost loses one of his Colossus for free there. Did he change that rally? Yes, he is changing that rally. He really needs to just kind of start spreading some more creep, so these swarm hosts can be really, really more effective. These queens do have a ton of energy, and actually, where are they going? Queens, why? These queens are all, I think he has 3 queens for 4 bases, so he has 4 queens, but I'm not sure what's going on. But Zackor, just going around these swarm hosts. At the same time, he's warped in a bunch of zealots down here that's going to try to harass this base here, and he's going to kill off this base for sure, and probably going to get a lot of units, but these Corruptors are swinging in here, and if these Corruptors take out all of his Colossus, which is exactly what they're going to do, only 2 Colossus are left. I think one is across the field somewhere. Yeah, there's only 1 Colossus left, and these Corruptors could really just swing in there and take that out, and with no Colossus, these swarm hosts are going to just poke in there and just destroy everything. Because now we're just sitting on 3 Immortals. But, what else is there? There's 8 Roaches, that's all there is, and a bunch of swarm hosts that are forever away. Eventually, Zackor is going to lose this entire army, but in doing so, he's completely killed. He's killed so much of Sugarbiscuit. He's even splitting up his army. Trying to take out this base, just barely is not able to, but he's attacking this 4th, attacking in the main. So Zackor has really done a lot of work here. 46 workers have been killed. Sugarbiscuit still has a huge supply lead right now. Holy shit! He has a huge supply lead, but it's all in these swarm hosts, which I don't think he really minds too much. He did have a huge bank, so he's gonna be able to reproduce eventually, but he's lost most of his bases and most of his drones, and this one stalker's still being so annoying. Just needs to kill it. Once he kills the stalker, he's gonna have to push across the map. Void Ray is actually in production. 3 Stargates got put up in the meanwhile this is all happening. Hopefully Sugarbiscuit realizes that he has to push. What else can he do? He doesn't really know about anything. He just needs to push. He's got a huge supply advantage right now. 163 to 90 supply. But there's no economy right now for Sugarbiscuit. There's nothing in his main he's able to mine. So he's long distance mining. He is making 1 hatchery at his former 4th base. There's only 1 Colossus out right now, and there's still a good amount of Corruptors, so if those Corruptors can just snipe off this Colossus, there's a good amount of Roaches even, so, and those Roaches have +2/+2 against +3/+1, so yeah, Colossus dies immediately, and looks like most of this army will die. Blink Micro will probably be able to fend this off, but not without losing most everything, and still, these Swarm Hosts remain. A DT Shrine on the way as well. Where are these Void Rays? There are 3 Void Rays, but Corruptors, yeah, they're okay about dealing with Void Rays. Taking out this Proxy Pylon, and oh goodness, he just needs to kill these Void Rays. Kill the Void Rays, and you're probably going to win. Locust starting to poke into this base here now. 54 to 30 workers at that moment, but again, 102 army supply to 6. And that 6 army supply is this Colossus. That is the army supply right now. Where is... I know... Okay, there is 1 Overseer, so DTs even aren't going to be able to do anything. That's an Overlord. He's trying to get away as much as he can, but... Wow. So despite losing most every one of his bases, Sugarbiscuit is in a massive lead right now just because of his army. His army is huge. Huge. Where is his army? He has a Colossus and a Sentry. Sentry does this job. But Colossus not gonna be able to do anything. The Swarm Host is still picking away at everything. They need to move up pretty soon. And there is the GG from Zackor. Interesting game. Sugarbiscuit ties up the series here. 2-2. Neat. Okay.